Hello, everyone. I'm Kerry George with CIBN Connect and CIBN TV on YouTube. And I'm here today very excited because we're going to be talking about the Global Evolution of Business Summit. And today I have a guest with me. I'm so thrilled. This is Wolfgang, and he is all the way from Germany. Woohoo! Has come to our international summit. It's going to be awesome. So we'll tell you more about that in a few minutes. But first, I want to hear from Wolfgang, and let me introduce you to him. He is somebody who frees entrepreneurs and founders who feel trapped in their business, personally or professionally, and he helps you live the life that you deserve. And he's most interested in working with mission-driven business owners who have a shared interest in making a positive impact. And he helps you exit your business and creates exit strategies for you. Wolfgang, so happy that you're here with us today. That is awesome. Why don't you tell people a little bit more about who you serve?
Thank you so much, Kerry. It's so exciting to be here today. And all across the globe. And I love the background, I must say. I mean, because my company is called The Second Mountain, and I see a lot of second mountains here. And so what I'm serving, and this is really the topic for the people I'm serving, it's people who build their business, and building business is a great journey. And we know about the start, we know about the messy middle, and some when you climb up further is you wonder like, where will be my next mountain? And so I'm helping people who say like, well, I built my business, and or I want to build a business that is sellable, because what is like life? What can be life be after you sold this business, right? And will there be in the next company, or will they be a life where you serve others, or a life where you say, I spent more time with friends and family? I would say we want it all, because we are entrepreneurs, right? Like, imagine like me on a beach for more than 2 weeks. Oh my gosh. I would make I would start selling sunglasses or something like that. I would build a business right again. It just would be too boring. And but for 2 weeks it could be good. And
That's true. I know what you're saying. I've had somebody ask me if I wanted to sell, and I'm like, then what would I do?
yeah, and that's the biggest question they all have. And I built a digital marketing business, and like started 2003, and then in 2016 I sold it. And this was a great adventure, and selling was a great adventure. And after that, I had everything I was always dreaming about. I had unlimited financial and time resources. I came home, and my family was looking at me. Dad, what are you doing here? I'm like, I'm home. You haven't been home for 10 years. Like, what do you do, right? And we cannot play with you because we have no time, because we got a life. You better get your own new life. And I'm like, that's interesting. Yeah, and then I started building my new life. And this was a second really, really interesting journey. And today I help people from the start to the end and to restart again.
Marvelous. So tell me a little bit about the journey, about where did you get started, and where did all this passion come from?
Oh, the whole journey, like my first business or the second one?
Well, let's start way back in the beginning. I always say, like, right after I got off the ark.
Yeah. So, and so I'm a designer. That's probably like the thing I love most, designing things. And I started off as a graphic designer, and where as a graphic designer, I thought, hmm, when I looked in advertising, I saw there was no one over 40, and I thought like, that's interesting. So the only way to survive or have a long prospering life as a creative, you need to build your own agency. And for that, I started my journey as a graphic designer and serving in different agencies in Germany, in the US, and all that. This was all great. And But I felt in 2003, when in Germany it hit the crisis, like when after the top.com crisis, I lost my job. And I thought, you know what? I lost my job, but it was mismanagement. It was not, I had a great team, 25 people, with great clients and all that. But the company was hiring so drastically. So they were scaling up too fast. And so they couldn't hold the people. And what a shame, right? Like when you have a great team and then you need to lose it. And so I started my own business on the other side of the street, but I couldn't afford 25 people. I couldn't afford paying my whole team. So I said, you know what? I just start with myself. I have two hands and I can design myself. And I started as a graphic designer doing websites. And then I hired my first employee. I was scared like shit, taking the responsibility for one person. Oh my gosh, how crazy is that? It was, I couldn't sleep for forever. Do you know that, Kerry?
I sure do.
Yeah, I think the first employee is the hardest. And you know what? He left me after 1 year. And he said, Wolfgang, we had a great time, but two things. I'm a designer myself. You hired a great designer, and I'm just like finishing this stuff you started. And I hate it. It's boring. And the second thing, if you can do it, I can do it too. I'm like,
He went and
wow, that's,
started his own business.
and he started his own business. And actually, funny thing, most people who left my company started their own business. Most of them became freelancers or started their own business because they said, like, Wolfgang, once we work with you, we cannot work anywhere because you taught us how to build a business, and you made it look so seamlessly, so easy. And then they came back later. Okay, we know it's not easy, but thank you that you made it look that way.
Yeah, that's really funny because over the years, I've also had trouble keeping employees because everyone who
Mm,
hangs around me becomes an entrepreneur.
yeah,
And they want to go out and start their own thing, and then usually it leads to that. But it is interesting. Not everybody can live as an entrepreneur because
no,
it's a risky situation if they have been,
yeah,
be an employee all their life and they're used to steady paychecks and steady days where things start at 9 and end at 5. I mean, being an entrepreneur is a completely different animal.
yeah, and it's a different thing of being building a company rather than doing your job as freelancer. And most of them turned freelancers, and one or two they started businesses. And I mean, that's the point. Once you start off with something you love, and as my great friend Steve Levy always says, it starts with you, but it's not about you. And that's the point. I started a design agency, but after like the first employee, I was like brave. I hired two more better designers. I let them design, and I stopped designing. But I became the creative director and did the concepts. And but when and over the time, I left design because when you build a design agency, you're in the end you're ending up being the only one not designing. And so it's same with bakery. Start a bakery because you love baking. You will end up being the only one not baking. It's not about that. And I mean, we see this as chefs, right? In chefs, we see this in cuisine, like in kitchen, like in restaurants. They do it, but I don't want to live their lives. It's really hard to do both, build a business and be the creator, the only like the core deliverer. It's really hard.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So, looking back from when you got started to where you
Yeah.
are now, I mean, you built a very successful business. You've moved on into another whole realm. So, tell me, if you could talk to yourself when you were 20 years old and you were getting started all over again, what advice would you give yourself?
Build something that is lovable, livable, and valuable. And what I mean with that, build a business that you love, but also others will love. And I mean with especially every employee that they want to stay and they want to put not just their time, also their love and care into it. And they feel safe. that they will be heard, and they can grow inside the business, and that is partly theirs. And
That's
yeah, and
that's
livable in the yeah. Sorry.
that's great. No, I'm just like that's great advice. I'm in awe. Did you want to add anything?
Yeah, but the other parts like the being livable. It's like Steven said, it's not about it starts with you, it's not about you. Build a business where you can always leave. It's really hard because I build it. So why should I leave it? And and making myself part of the equation makes creates also safety for me, and I feel valuable. But there was this one day when there was this great funny thing. It was a chef from a really famous sushi restaurant in Hamburg, and he came to my design store, and this was when I had like 5 6 designers, and he said, "Oh, Wolfgang, yeah, I love you. Can you you understand me, and like you will do the website, and I love it." And yeah, yes, I said we will do your website, and you will love it. And then he said like, and then let me think a moment. Yeah, I know it. I have the perfect team for you. Susanna and Christian, they are the perfect designer doing the building the thing of doing the designs for you. And he said, huh? Wolfgang, are you kidding? You are doing my website. And I said, Steffen, are you kidding? Are you standing in your kitchen? You're building an sushi empire, right? I'm building a design empire, right? I'm standing here for my quality. I'm standing here for my people. But it's not about me or you. It's about I have the best team for you that will make the website. Actually, and this was a really scary moment because this was a moment of intuition. I saw this window of opportunity. I thought, if I will tell this guy I'm doing this, I will be stuck for life. And when I did this, this was the moment the company went bam, because it was not about me anymore. I was holding the space. And it's really scary this moment, but it worked out just fine. And when I worked once with this great chef, I really appreciate it. Then I sold it to all the others. I just sold my team.
That's marvelous. I'm getting a lot from you right now. I'm like, write that down. That is so awesome.
Yeah. And the last thing I will say is it's valuable. Build something that is valuable and valuable to yourself and to others. Because one day there will be the time you want to find a partner, and or you want to sell your business. And when the person enters your business or an investor, they are paying for this valuable to the outside, to others. And the hard thing to know is the love you put in created this value, but they're not buying that. That's not about that. Is they don't buy you, they either buy your profit, they either buy the team you built, they're buying the clients you won, they're buying into the trust you built with others, they're buying on the market you're owning, or they're buying because you're just going on their nerves. They're buying you to kill your idea because it's not serving their strategy. It's not about you, it's about what you built. And so but when you build something valuable, and you always think about that, you think completely different. You take yourself out of the equation because you made sure you're livable, because you don't want to stick in this company once it's bought.
That's excellent advice. So I know that you belong to Explore ProTech, and you're part of that awesome organization. And we have 7 different groups that have come together, different networking organizations that are putting on the Global Evolution of Business Summit. But I know as part of Explore ProTech out of South Africa, which is a wonderful global organization, you must believe in networking. So tell me, why do you believe in networking? Why do you think this is important for business owners?
It's the key to business owners, because there's a lot of value in it, because networking is the number one and easiest way to grow personally, in the sense of I learned most of my knowledge through networking. Because, yeah, I read books. And if you look at my room, I have tons of books. And I read parts of it, rarely the whole thing, but it just gives me like little hints. But I talk then to other people about what I read. And then I have a real world examples and knowledge and experience. Where like, yeah, I read this book too. It's really bullshit what they're telling me, because the advice is good on paper, but we tested it and it's not working. But the other book, I can let me show you, this one really worked. This was really great, and it's field proven. And so by sharing experiences and really talking from your personal experiences, what you personally discovered, what you personally experienced, and especially the fuck ups. I learned more from the bad parts from the gains. Like, yeah, I won this client. Great. How did you do it? Yeah, they share it. Yeah, because I have this diddle. But what was not working? There's all, and people who open up that way, being more vulnerable. I learned so much, and I share my fuck ups and my gains, whatever you want to hear. Oh, we can't hear you. You're on mute,
I
but we
love
don't.
that. I was just thinking that for years we have shared, mistakes as well as the wins, right? And what has happened as a result of that? Like at CIBN Connect, we went 9 years without having a single business failure in all of our very large membership base. No business has failed when the average is 80% fail in 5 years. And people would say, well, what are you doing? Like, how did you do that? And I would love to take the glory and say, it's our awesome courses that we put on. We teach everybody social media, networking, all this, but it's not true. What is really the truth is that they learn things from each other. And from one another, we figure out mistakes before we make them. And
Yeah,
I think that is the biggest piece of networking that is really like people don't know that. They don't realize that when you're part of a network, you get to find out what works and what doesn't, and you stop spending your money on stupid crap that doesn't
yeah,
work. Right?
yeah.
Because
You're so
everyone's
right.
coming along trying to sell you something. If
Yeah,
you're a business owner, if you're online, you're getting hit up on LinkedIn, buy my thing, do this, do that. If you have a storefront, people literally walk through the door with no other purpose than to sell you something. And when you're there by yourself, some of these ideas sound like they're good ideas. It's like, oh, you want me to do radio advertising? Well, okay. Yes, I hear other companies doing radio advertising. They don't realize that's the biggest money sucking vortex on planet Earth. And it like you have to put out large amounts of money. There has to be a strategy, which they're not going to tell you what the strategy might
yeah,
actually be. That is a salesman. He has no idea what strategy is around that. His
yeah,
job is to sell you crap.
yeah.
Okay. And your job is to discern, but we don't know that.
Exactly.
And we're not around other people who are making these mistakes. So we're like, okay, sounds good to me. $30,000. Sure. Let's do
Yeah,
this. Right. And then $30,000 later, we're like, well, that didn't work at all. Radio advertising doesn't work. Well, it
yeah,
might not be that radio advertising doesn't work. The way you did it, it
yeah,
didn't work. But
yeah.
if you were around other business owners who had done it correctly, you would know.
Yeah, you're so right, Kerry. That's so the point, and that I'm thankful that you really like also had this great experience yourself, and congratulations that you could also learn from that. Because there's another thing which I see in networks a lot. There is there are people who are listened to talk. Great. Now that you're telling me that, and then I can share my story. But there's other people who listen to listen. And these are the
Yeah.
ones who really take in, are really taking what you're saying. They are hearing not the opportunity of speaking. They hear like, oh, interesting. Thanks for sharing that. This and how did you feel about the fuck up? How did it make you feel? You know what? I feel ashamed in front of my team. And it was the hardest to say, like, to acknowledging that. But this was the
Yeah.
moment my team
It's
said,
humbling.
yeah. And my team said, you know what? It doesn't matter, because it's more important that we acknowledge our failures, because now we can change. Let's have a beer or three, and tomorrow's a new day.
That's right. Some of those mistakes require 3 beer, maybe a shot of something
Yeah,
stronger.
yeah. It's so cool. But can I add one more thing about the networking part? I
Yeah,
think there's a difference between networking and tribe working. because
absolutely.
because if you're in a tribe, it's about trust. And so
Mhm.
it's like in your neighborhood, right? You will see us, I will see you again. So and so there are people thinking twice about their advice. They're much more vulnerable. And what I saw, and I love that. And especially like, and I joined protest in during COVID. And Germany is not known to be in the funniest place in the world. We are known for different things, and so it was a little sad time, and it was really dry. And when they approached me and said, "Oh, you want to join this tribe in South Africa?" I think it became member number 40. I loved the energy, how we lifted each other up, and I could show I could show a side of myself which I could not have shown in Germany. I Well, next time I will play guitar. But I started playing guitar in my lectures. Went crazy. I started dressing up. And I showed a completely different side, which I wasn't. There wasn't. It was buried in my sea. So that my tribe gave me the confidence to show off, to show myself, and they encouraged me to show the craziness. They know, because they know, yeah, Wolfgang is playfully structured. Yeah, he's really structured in mythology, but he's a crazy guy. And so if he can be more fun, we all have more fun. And
That's
so
awesome.
they try allowed me to show that.
That's awesome. So I know we've been kind of sharing some networking tips already, just what we were
Yeah.
sharing. But what is your favorite? What's your best? What's the best networking tip that you have for people? I mean, you've been doing some now for a while. What do you think is the best thing?
The best thing is invite people for a dangerous coffee, which means meet with someone you're really scared of, someone who's too brave enough, someone who is more successful than you, someone who's more good looking than you, someone who is smarter, braver, whatever, like something that. And by doing that, and I do this a lot. Actually, I also do this on parties. I'm looking for the scariest person on the party, or on a train, or in an airport, or wherever. And I approach them. I thought, like, I would like to talk to you. And they say, why? Because I thought you're the most dangerous person here on the airport. And they say, why? Because look at you. You look so successful. You look like, and I saw you on the news. I thought you were super dangerous. And then what they happens, they make themselves like really tall man. This is fine. They make them really small. No, I'm a really nice guy. No, honestly, I'm really nice. You don't have to worry.
It's like talking to Dr. Claw and he's trying suddenly.
Yeah, it's so fun. And they open up, and I had the most amazing conversations
That's
because,
awesome. Totally brilliant.
yeah. And I'm afraid of what I love, right? Some the people have something. I mean, Kerry, you built this amazing summit, and with all the tribes to bringing that together. I mean, to me, this is what I said. The first thing when I said when we met today, I said like, I'm scared of you because you
But you
built.
have no idea that you should be.
Yeah, and I have a good reason, because also you have something which I'm longing for. This connectivity, bringing people together, also this accountability of making things happen. You stick to it. I mean, saying building a global summit, saying it out loud in public is easy, but behind that, there's tons of work, and every moment, and just like giving that energy and care into that. For that,
Absolutely.
it's so easy to lose people. And
It's so much fun doing this and bringing all of those people together. And
yeah,
Wolfgang, for years, I've been telling our business owners that they need to work collaboratively and start looking at others like they are your competitor. Start
yeah,
being the bigger fish in the pond,
yeah,
and actually live it, not just talk about it. And I had to drink my own Kool-Aid. I mean, we're out there telling the insurance agents you shouldn't be threatened by the other ones in the room. The
Yeah.
realtors, you shouldn't be threatened by the other ones in the room. To share your mistakes vulnerably in a mastermind, when there might be somebody else who does what you do. And what
Yeah.
if they capitalize off that? Well, the reality is that when we collaborate and we work together, the sky is the limit. There is nothing beyond us when we work together. But
Yeah.
when we're trying to do it all by ourselves, we're going to get nowhere. So we drink our own Kool-Aid around here. We
Yes.
tell everybody else that they should collaborate. We have to collaborate,
Yeah.
and bringing the other networks together. I mean, we've got a massive business network at CIBN Connect. We have brought on 7 in total so far that are joining us for this summit. And I expect that in future years, we're going to have 15. It's going to be massive. It's going to be epic. And
Yeah.
this year is going to be epic. Just can't wait. But Wolfgang, I have to ask you, you
Yeah.
work with a lot of businesses and you built a successful business yourself, which you monetized and sold and all this awesome stuff here. So what would be your best top 5 or three business tips that you would give to people? Best business tips. If you're building a business of your own, what are the best business tips that you have for them?
The good thing is I shared them already. Build something lovable, valuable, and livable. And if you stick to that, like Kerry is sticking to building this amazing event together with all the other tribes, then this is when the magic happens. And find out what is lovable for you, right? And for others. And where's the real value in others for your team and for others outside. And always make sure that this business is livable, right? That it is free of you. And that's the best 3 tips I can give.
That is awesome. Okay, so you're going to be talking at the Global Evolution of Business Summit, and we got some great speakers who are
Yeah.
going to be there. Dr. Richard Kay from CEO Space, Stu McLaren is going to be there. He's an expert in membership and subscription-based businesses, big player. We've got David T. Fagan, who is an internationally known publicist and is a star amongst Hollywood stars. Amazing people, all these. And then on top of this, we've got these organizational leaders, the people who are bringing it for all small business and entrepreneurs and professionals all together. What are you going to be talking about at the summit?
Yeah, I gave a lot of thoughts about that. And first I thought, like I can give my TED talk. I had a TED talk last year about turning problems into possibilities. And I thought, like, why don't you give that? Because it's a great speech. And then I thought, you know what? They can just look it on YouTube, right? It's on the TED platform. Just Google that, done. There is no new value by repeating the message. It's out there. People can watch it. So I thought, like, where can I give something more exclusive, something which I don't have, which I have not shared yet? And I call it the mission team. The mission team is one part of building this great organization, because when we build our organizations, we have people who follow us, who are excited about that. Oh yes, I want to work with you, and you are the amazing entrepreneur, and I'm inspired to look up, and I want to join you. And then sometimes they leave, and you wonder, like, why did they leave? And then there's others who should leave, but they stick. Why don't they leave? They are so crappy. Why are the good people leaving and the bad ones all staying? It's not always like this. And the topic of hiring is so crucial as a business owner, but also making sure they stay. Because hiring is like sales, right? We are great in the first moment, like making the story, and but how do you keep them on the long time? And I will share with you how to build a mission-driven team, and that is fitting your business stage. Because if you're starting up, building your company up to 5, 10 people, right? Making like making between 300,000 and making already like 300,000 maybe of turnover or a little more, maybe 1 million, even like depends on your business, right? But if you say like the first employees, and you need to build that up, you need different people than if you want to scale up from 10 to 50 or to 100 or to 500, right? It's a complete different team. And the sad story or the truth is, the people from the beginning are rarely the ones who will scale up your business later on. It's different people. And I will share with you who are the right people for you. So that, and I will share you also, and this will be really tough, if the people in your team are the right people you have already. So it might mean you need to leave some people and leave them for good for a better place where they belong. And that's the hard truth. But otherwise,
Right.
stick with people who are constantly unhappy and staying with you. And actually, these are the ones who are asking most time for more money. It's the unhappiest people will always come for a raise.
That's right. So you can tell who they are. Well, you know what? That's excellent. I appreciate that. That is excellent. I'm looking forward to your talk. I'm going to be there with my listening ears on, taking notes for sure. In fact, I'll make sure I get the VIP upgrade so that I
Yeah,
can listen to it again and again. That would be
that's
important.
perfect. Yeah, and we make sure there's great value for all listeners, and that the VIP people that they are get an extra bonus that it's worth their ticket.
Absolutely. So you were bringing a gift for the VIP, and I
Yeah,
know that we have a lot of gifts for the VIP. CIBN's gift is worth $1,900. Tom Matson's gift is worth $1,900. We have several of them that are worth 100, 200, 500, 700. There's like $8,000 worth of gifts there already.
yeah,
So I mean, it's just awesome, and every little piece is just like amazing because it might be exactly the thing that you need, and you don't have to go pay for it because you get it with the VIP gift
yeah.
list, which is only like it's $97 for the VIP list. And not only that, but you also are going to get the transcripts from all of the event. We're putting it into a book afterwards. That's pretty awesome. Yeah, you didn't even know about that,
I didn't
Wolfgang.
know that.
But
Now that
you
surprised
get
me.
to
Now
get
you surprised me.
it's amazing. So what are you bringing for the VIP gift?
You said that I can also meet the VIP people in the green room,
You can.
because I would be really curious, because I love, because as a networker, but I love to talk one on one. If I can meet people, talk to them, this would be fantastic. So that would be a gift for me, or is it a gift for
Yeah.
them? I'm not
It's a
sure.
gift. It's a gift for all of us.
It's a gift
All
for
the
all of us.
VIP people
Yeah,
are get to be in the
yeah,
green room. There's a special event for the VIP upgrade, as well as the speakers, the sponsors, the event partners. All the money bags people are going to be there. It's going to be awesome.
yeah, yeah. And so as my gift, because I think this is the most crucial part, is it's great to have a speech about like how to build a mission driven team, but I will basically just throw in a personal session really with me. I sit down, we look at your business, and we will make sure that it's really lovable. So we look at all the counterparts. So I give away a personal 90-minute session where we
Wow.
say we look at this in detail, because it's not doable like in 20 minutes. That's bullshit, right? It's not like they can say like, because you need, every business is different, and we have to look at the people, and we have to look what is your values, what is your mission about. And so for that, I take the time, because with every business who's better off afterwards, right? I make this world a little better every time it become, because the people will love it, and you have more time to do what you're actually good at, building
Right.
businesses.
Right. That sounds awesome. I mean, I'm just thinking about, I bet you bill out at a high rate. So 90 minutes with you is worth a
About
huge, huge,
500 euros. I've taken
500
charge five,
euros an
yeah,
hour.
500 euros. Yeah.
That's pretty awesome. All right. I know I'm going to be taking that VIP gift.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, this is great. We're going to have a fabulous time at the Global Evolution of Business Summit. We are really thrilled. This is coming up. We got so many amazing speakers. It's going to be running from the April 19th to the 22nd. And I know I've had people say, well, it's 4 days. I don't know if I can be there for the whole thing. I'm going to tell you something. you should cancel everything else you have going on for 4 days and be there, because it is going to be that epic. Not only are there going to be some of the best and most amazing speakers talking about what has been evolving over the last 2 years and what you need to be ready for, there is also going to be a ton of amazing connections for you. I went to a smaller event. I booked 28 appointments over the next 2 weeks from that event. And I made 6 sales in the first 3 days just by booking those appointments. How many appointments can you book from 4 days of awesome networking?
Oh my gosh.
Oh, wow. I mean, this is a game changer for you, for your month, for your year. So be there and just be totally present for as much as you can, because this is a game changer. Wolfgang, I'm so glad that you're going to be there. Are you
Yeah,
excited?
I'm super excited and I love it. I already seen the people, and so thanks, Kerry, for making this all happen. I think that's such a fantastic opportunity for all of us. And now that all these tribes are united, I think I have goosebumps.
It's going to be awesome. It's going to be
Yeah.
epic. Can't wait. All right.
Woo!
Happy capitalism. See you there.